Hello, happy Wednesday. So today we are going to be adding mixed numbers. Okay, let's start with our steps. Step 1. Now, I think it's easier if you line them straight up and down, but you're going to see them both ways. So, step 1, add the fractions. Okay, step 1, add the fractions. Remember, we have mixed numbers. Shh. So, if I have 3.5 plus 2.5, my first step.
Mom.
Hi.
Mommy.
Okay, what?
Where did you get the vacuum cleaner from?
My first step is to add the fractions. So I have a half plus a half. So my denominator stays the same. And I add my top numbers. 1 plus 1, that's 2. Now you notice something about this. We're going to deal with that in a little bit. Okay, step 2. Add the whole numbers. Okay. So add the whole numbers. I'm going to take everything that I did in step 1 and I'm going to just transfer it down for step 2. So I have 3.5 plus 2.5. So you noticed that I split my fraction and my whole number. That's just so I can see my fraction and then I can see my whole number as two separate things. So that's what I did in step 1. Then in step 2, I'm going to add my whole number. So I'm going to add 3 plus 2. 3 plus 2 is 5.
Mom, the
Can you wait?
cleaner got me.
Okay. Step 3. Now step 3 is going to be the most difficult step because you have to think. You have to change, like this fraction here, that's 2 halves. It's actually a whole. So any mixed, or not mixed, any improper fractions change to a whole number or mixed number. There we go. Sorry, gotta zoom out there. So any improper fractions, that means when that answer that you get with your fractions, if it's bigger on top than it is on bottom, that's an improper fraction, so we're gonna change it. Or if it is like this right here, we're going to do some math here. Okay, so I'm going to write everything that I've done so far. And some of you have probably figured this out, what I'm getting ready to do. So I know that 2 halves equals 1. So I'm going to put a 1 underneath here, and I'm going to put a plus sign, because I'm going to add this whole fraction, 2 halves, to 5. So my answer is actually 6. Okay? That one wasn't too difficult, but what happens when we have like an actual improper fraction here? Let's do a couple examples like that. All right, so I am going to just go straight to my workbook page. It is page 517. your workbook, and I'm gonna circle some that I'm going to do with you, so you get some practice of changing it. And I know we don't have a lot of space on here, so if we need to use a separate piece of paper, we will. So while you are getting that, I'm gonna circle some numbers that we're gonna do together. And let's do this one. So I circled 1, 4, and 7. 1, 4, and 7. Okay, so let's start with number 1. So I'm going to split my fraction and my whole number so I can see two separate things. My denominator stays the same. It's a 12. I add my top numbers, 10 plus 3, that's 13. Ah, now you notice something. I have an improper fraction. We'll deal with that in a second. Step 2, add your whole numbers, 2 plus 3, that's 5. Step 3, now we have to come back to this improper fraction and we're gonna deal with it. So I can do a couple of things. I can take that off to the side and I can divide it. 12 goes into 13 one time. 1 times 12 is 12. Subtract, you get 1. And you're left with 1/12. So this 13/12 is 1 and 1/12. So what happens now? This 1, it's going to make a journey over here, and I'm going to add it to the 5. So I'm adding this whole number 1 to the 5. So it becomes 6. Now, this is where 4th graders make a mistake. You can't leave this guy, oops, I didn't want to circle that one. You can't leave that 1/12 just out there by itself. You have to bring it over here, right next to the 6. And your answer is 6 and 1/12. Okay? I'm going to show you another way to do that. So I have 13/12 and I think of a whole number. So a whole number would be 12 over 12. Remember a few weeks ago? Oh my gosh, this is a terrible bubble one. That is so terrible. You can giggle at it with me. So here's my whole number 1. I'm going to subtract that from 13/12 and I'm left with 1/12. 13 minus 12 is 1. Bottom number stays the same. That whole 1 gets added to that and I'm left with 1/12. So either way you do it, you're going to get the same answer. This is our answer, 6 and 1/12. Do not, are you listening? Do not add the 1 and then keep that 13/12. That's not the right answer, because we dealt with that 13/12 when we did all this junk. Okay, let's try another one. Coming over to number 4. Look at this one. You don't have any whole numbers underneath there. And that's fine, because it's 0. Put a 0 there if you want to. So we're going to add our fractions. We have 2 6 plus 3 6. 6 is our denominator. 2 plus 3 is 5. Ooh, not an improper fraction, not a whole number of any sort. So that's going to stay. Add your whole numbers. 10 plus 0 is 10. Step 3 doesn't exist in this problem. So your answer is 10 and 5/6. Look at that, that looks terrible. Mrs. Barker. It looked like 5 over 106. So 10 and 5/6. Okay, let's come to number 7. Now, I can add these going across like this. It doesn't matter. So, if I do, my denominator, I'm starting with my fractions again. My bottom number stays the same. I'm going to put it over here to the side because I want to leave space for my whole number. Then I add 10 plus 9. I get 19. Oh, do you notice that? I'm going to have a step 3 in here. I'll deal with that later. Step 2, add your whole numbers. 2 plus 3 is 5. Now, how do we want to deal with this improper fraction? We have to do step 3. I can subtract, like this here, that mess that I tried to attempt. I can subtract 12 twelfths, and whatever I'm left with is my fraction, and then I add my whole number. Or I can pull it off to the side and I can divide. I think I'll do the subtract 12 twelfths on this one so you can see. I'm running out of space. So my 12 twelfths, that's my 1 whole. So make sure we add that in. So 19 minus 12, that's like 9 minus 2, that's 7. I'm gonna have to put this down here because I'm out of space. 7, and my denominator stays the same, 12ths. I added that 12 twelfths into the 5, so the 5 became a 6. So my answer is 6 and 7 twelfths. All right, so you're gonna finish the rest of those on the front side, and then we're gonna do some on the back. All right, on there I put, you're gonna do 15, 17, 18, and 19. Guess what? If you're watching the video, we're gonna do them together. All right, Ruth needs 2 1/4 cups of flour for one cake, 2 3/4 cups of flour for another cake. If she makes both cakes, how much flour will she need? So we have to add these two fractions together. 2 1/4 plus 2 3/4. All right, 1/4, look at that. I already didn't leave myself enough space. 1/4 plus 3/4. So 1 plus 3, 4. Your denominator stays the same. 2 plus 2 is 4. So now we have to do step 3. We have 4/4. That's 1 whole. So that gets added in to the 4. So how many cups does she need? 5 cups. All right, we're skipping 16. Although I did learn that a stone is 14 pounds. And Mr. Williams would know that. All right. Tirzar wants to put a fence around her garden. She has 22 yards of fence material. Does Tizar have enough to go all the way around the garden? So we have a perimeter problem here too. So she's going all the way around her garden here. It's telling us that one side is 6 9/12 and the other side is 4 8/12. So I have to do a few steps to solve this one. 6 9/12 plus another 6 9/12 for this side at the bottom. So I'm going to add those two together. Okay, then I'll add those in just a second. 4 8/12 is this, the right side, so the left side is also the same. So I have to add those two. So 4 8/12 plus 4 8/12. All right, so let's do some adding. My denominator stays the same, 12. 9 plus 9 is 18. 6 plus 6 is 12. You notice something about 18/12. I'm going to get rid of a whole, which is 12/12. And I'm left with 6/12. That whole gets added in, so I'm at 13 6/12. Then let's deal with the other side. 8 plus 8 is 16. Denominator stays the same, 12. 4 plus 4 is 8. Now we're going to deal with this improper fraction. I'm going to subtract 12/12. I'm going to add that to the 8. So I get, let me deal with my fraction here. So 16 minus 12 is 4. So I get 4/12. That gets added in, so it's 9 4/12. Okay, so I'm not done. She has 22 yards of fence. Does she have enough? Now what we have to do is add these two numbers together. So over here, 13 and 6/12, and 9 and 4/12. So 6 plus 4 is 10. The denominator stays the same. And 13 plus 9 is 22. Okay, so she'll need 22 and 10/12. She only has 22 yards. Does she have enough? No, she doesn't. She's gonna be short almost 1 yard. Pookie. Pookie weighs 12 and 7/8 pounds. Rascal weighs 13 and 3/8 pounds. What is the total weight of both cats? Select all possible sums. So we gotta add these two together. 7 plus 3 is 10. Denominator stays the same. Now we have these big whole numbers. So we have 5. So we have 25 and 10/8. Do we see that answer anywhere? Nope, because we have to select all the possible sums. Well, we can already get rid of these two, because that's not right. Now we're left with these. Okay, let's deal with this improper fraction. I'm gonna get rid of a whole, and I'm gonna add it over here. And I get 2/8 left. So that's 26 and 2/8. Is that one there? Yep. Look at this one, 26 and 1/4. Here's how they got that answer. I can simplify this fraction. I can divide top and bottom by 2, and I get 1/4. So I get 26 and 1/4. Also, that's the same answer, just reduced. The last one is this improper fraction. So let's see if it works. We gotta go back up to this one though, because we have 8 at the bottom. So 26 times 8. 26 times 8. 48. 16, 208 plus 2, 210, and then your denominator stays the same. Yep, that one works too. All 3 of those work. And number 19. Rex weighs 30 and 1/4 pounds. Bucky weighs 50 and 2/4 pounds. What is the total weight of both dogs? Select all possible sums. Kind of like the other problem. Okay. Let's add them up. 50 and 2/4. So we've got 3/4. Hopefully you're getting good at adding and subtracting your fractions, because now what we're doing, we're just adding that whole number with it. All right, so then we've got, this is 80. 80 and 3/4. So that's this one. So if it's 80 and 3/4, it's not 81, and it's not 80, and it's certainly not 20. So let's check this one out, see if that works. So 80 times 4, that's 320. How did I do that so fast? 8 times 4, add a 0, plus 3. Add your top number. We work in a circle. So 3, 2, 3, and your denominator is a 4. Sorry, blurry. 3, 2, 3, 4. All right. There's those. And then all you have to do is the front side.